Nothing is as terrifying as the unknown. F.E.A.R. doesn't seem to understand this, and it lays bare all the mysteries of this series, moving the story forward but stripping away the power of its scares to get inside your head and keep you up at night. But while it may disappoint as a horror game, it satisfies as a shooter. Its campaign is good fun in single player and especially enjoyable when played cooperatively with a friend. F.E.A.R. 3 follows hot on the heels of F.E.A.R. 2's startling conclusion, but returns us to the protagonist of the original F.E.A.R., the genetically designed super soldier known as Point Man. The events at the end of F.E.A.R. 2 have triggered a paranormal catastrophe of biblical proportions in the city of Fairport, and Point Man is eager to return and help out a former squad mate caught up in the chaos. Point Man's not alone, though. His homicidal brother Paxton Fettel is along for the ride. Point Man may have put a bullet in his brother's brain in the original F.E.A.R., but Fettel isn't about to let a little thing like being dead keep him down. The brothers form an uneasy alliance, but the story progresses predictably.
So, tell me, what does it feel like to kill your own brother? Can't say I enjoyed it very much. You didn't even bother to question your orders, did you? You just did as you were told.
There's a pleasant sense of closure that goes with seeing the brothers confront the painful reality of their shared past, but there aren't any surprises or scares that will stay with you once the story has run its course. Point Man and Paxton Fettel are both playable, but when tackling the campaign alone, you must first play each stage as Point Man to unlock the option to play it as Fettel. Regardless of which character you're playing as, F.E.A.R. 3 is, at its core, a corridor shooter that shuttles you from one small area to another and sees you constantly beset by groups of enemies. Although the core action doesn't evolve much over the course of the game, the firefights remain exciting. The assortment of pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, and other weapons you can employ feel powerful, and the smooth controls make aiming and shooting a pleasure. And your melee attacks, which include a sliding kick that sometimes sends enemies flying like ragdolls, make it fun to forego the use of guns and get up close and personal with your enemies. Most of your time is spent fighting soldiers in the private army of the evil Armachem Corporation, and these enemies keep you on your toes by flanking your position, though they also occasionally do dumb things like get stuck while coming downstairs. All of the areas in which shootouts take place provide ample opportunities for cover, but a lot of cover is destructible, and it's a thrill to frantically dash from one position to another as your cover is blown to smithereens. F.E.A.R. 3 prevents the shootouts from growing tiresome by providing atmospheric periods between firefights. For instance, a few quiet minutes spent making your way through a defiled big box store build up tension before the bullets start flying. And while Point Man and Paxton are figurative killing machines, the occasional opportunity to take control of a literal killing machine and make things very unpleasant for your adversaries is a lot of fun. At a few points during the campaign, you can commandeer 2 types of armored power suits. These powerful, lumbering contraptions make the assaults of Armachem soldiers laughable, and shooting helicopters out of the sky from inside one of these machines is a delicious taste of destructive power. As Point Man, you have an edge in battle, courtesy of your unnaturally fast reflexes. These let you trigger slow motion for brief periods, making it much easier to line up that perfect headshot or deal with an overwhelming number of assailants. There's nothing novel about the ability to go into slow motion in shooters anymore, but it's still cool to see the air vibrate in the wake of a speeding bullet that whizzes past your head, or to watch as what's left of an enemy explodes in a bloody mess. Paxton lacks his brother's heightened reflexes, but makes up for it with other talents. As a Spectre, he can't pick up guns, but he can suspend enemies helplessly in the air and fire deadly blasts of energy from his hand. He can also take possession of soldiers even from significant distances, and it's liberating to zap into the body of an enemy from across the room. These abilities of Paxton's are enjoyable to use in single player, but it's when you tackle the campaign cooperatively that they really shine. The player controlling Paxton can suspend enemies in the air while Point Man pumps bullets into them. Paxton can zoom into the body of a distant enemy to flank a group of foes, and then Point Man can trigger slow motion and attack from the front. The constant opportunity to make a coordinated use of the brothers' complementary powers makes working with a partner a joy, and distinguishes this game's cooperative play from that of many shooters in which all players have the same abilities. F.E.A.R 3 also contains 4 multiplayer modes for up to 4 players. These include Contractions, in which players work together to survive wave after wave of enemy attacks, and an exciting mode in which you must hurry through levels infested with enemies as you're pursued by a towering wall of death. If you want more info on the multiplayer modes or the game as a whole, the text review goes into more detail. In the end, F.E.A.R 3's campaign doesn't excel. There are a few surprises or standout moments, and those who remember the relentlessly creepy atmosphere and edge-of-your-seat scares of the original F.E.A.R may lament the fact that this game feels more like a military shooter with light horror elements. But although F.E.A.R 3 won't terrify you or leave you gasping for more, it's a solid shooter that satisfies from start to finish.